stupidly accurate I'm trying to be here with my cover paper. And yeah, it's the pre-game show. Right. Figuring out a section just takes me way too long. I'm worried about it being perfect way too much. There we go. All right. There's a good section, right? Working sideways. Might help to have the light pad in the right direction. Just one of those things. There, how's that work? Zoom in. All right, I think that looks okay. I feel like I need to get a little clip down here too. But, oh, what am I doing here? There we go. Everything's covered now. Again, welcome or welcome back to the Unfinished Projects Club. Hello, my name is Jen. It is time to attempt some progress. Some may call this a whip and chat, but let's be honest here. It's me. And if I can get something accomplished, I've won for the day. So we are here working on my Aurora Borealis diamond painting. This is from Dotz. My son bought this for me for Christmas. This is one of my whip go calls for the month. So my goal is to complete a row. So we're just working on a section today. We'll see how far we get before I run out of things to talk about. I'm still using this lovely gridded tray system that I have fallen in love with for rounds. I'll make sure to link it below. There's actually two brands that I'm using. One came with these bigger trays for my higher amounts, and then the other one has trays that are about half the size, if I can actually get one out here, as you can see. But again, they still have that same grid system, and I, again, really love them for rounds, along with my curved multi-placer that I will throw the shop's name on the screen because I can never, ever, ever remember in the moment anybody's actual shop names. My brain just doesn't work like that. I'll link everything below. Just in case you're curious, want to check some of these things out. I'm also using putty from Black Dahlia right now. I think I have one of their winter scents in here and it's still sticky, even though this has been sitting for a little while. But if it changes, I might replace it with a more recent set. I have this, the Putty Hubby scent of the month from February here called Golden Skyline. So if I end up having to change it at any point today, I'm going to move it to this because it's just more seasonal than the winter. I don't mind winter scents, but you know, I've got a gajillion things of putty. I might as well use them. So, how's everyone's week been? Mine has been fun and good times to be had by all. Let me tell you, I have so much to talk about today. It might be enough for 2 whipping chats. We'll see. Some good, some bad. I mean, when I say bad, like, again, nothing like horrendous, but definitely was an adventure. Especially because we don't do anything around here, so anything's considered an adventure. But I had to spend some time with hubby in the hospital this week. I sure did. Ended up being a non-life-threatening situation, thankfully, but it could have ended up being a lot worse. You know, he and I, well, we've just been dealing with a lot of stress lately. Just probably a lot of it brought on ourselves, but it's just, you know, it gets to the point where you're physically done with it. And apparently that's where he's at. his body said, you know what? We're done. We're done with the stress. He woke up in the middle of the night, apparently. And I say apparently because he didn't tell me until the following morning with some weird symptoms. Kind of chest pains, but not like what you would think of in the sense of like a heart attack. He kept describing it as like a hollow feeling. Of course, he didn't tell me when this happened. He told me the next morning. A lot of good that would have done me then. And he said, well, I didn't want to wake you. I said, yes, and I'd rather not wake up next to a dead husband. So there is that. Anywho, I told him, he's like, he's getting ready for work and everything. I feel fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. I'm fine. I'm like, well, okay, promise me at least you'll call your doctor. At least do that for me. Knowing more than likely that his doctor would say, go to the hospital. So he said he would. Went into work, called his doctor, and gee whiz, she said, go to the ER. We don't fool around with heart issues. Thankfully, I actually had the day off already. I was supposed to help bring college boy home that day. But ended up that, I had to go to the emergency room instead with hubby. So we get there. He's like not wanting to go, of course. We get there and, they take him into triage and immediately put him back because, again, it's heart issues and we don't fool around with those. Or potential heart issues, I should say. So they get him hooked up and blood work done and all of that right off the bat. Although, do you remember by this point it had been like 10 hours since the event. So anyway, did the blood work, hooked him up to the EKG, did that. Initially said, okay, everything looks fine. Got a normal sinus rhythm, cool. Well, after they looked a little further at the EKG, they apparently decided that something had happened at some point because it looked different. There was a different wave pattern compared to the last time he had an EKG done. So they're like, we're going to keep you for observation. We're going to do a chest x-ray. We're going to, do all the tests, all the things. We're going to do an echo. We're going to do a stress test. All the things. So I ran home, got some stuff for us because he doesn't say it, but he likes it when I stay with him when he's in the hospital. So I knew I was going to have to stay with him. So ran home, got our stuff, tried to take care of things for work the following day because, I'm in the middle of a training class here and can't just be like, yeah, I'm not coming in. So anyway, took care of all that. And we stayed the night. It was fine. They let him pretty much eat. I mean, he was on a heart healthy diet, of course, because it's the hospital. But I mean, nothing like horrendous. And actually, this hospital has some decent food. We really like the grilled chicken there. But one of the things we did while we were in there is I'm a hockey fan. I'm a fan of the Buffalo Sabres, and they're in the playoffs for the first time in like forever. I mean, my children were like babies the last time they did well. So this has been an exciting thing for me. So we were able to watch the game while we were in the hospital. He doesn't so much care, but he knows I do. So we're watching the hockey game. His heart rate keeps going up. And then at one point he was having that hollow pain feeling again. And I'm like, okay, maybe we shouldn't be watching the hockey game while you're recovering from a potential heart event. Just, throwing that out there. Sleeping that night was non-existent. Non-existent. You know how it is. If you've ever been in the hospital, I mean, he's on a monitor, so every time that thing alarmed, it would wake us up. Obviously, they had me sleeping in a recliner. Not the most comfortable thing, especially with my shoulder issues. I mean, so there's that. And then people coming in and out, checking on him. And I mean, he was only under observation, so they weren't like doing vitals like every however often they do him, but still. Oh, my thing died. Hold on a second. Hold, please. Portable charger to the rescue. There we go. Look at that. Anyway, so yeah, didn't sleep, did all his tests, so everything was fine. Everything turned out fine. His echo looked good. His stress test was perfect. I mean, the worst thing is that his cholesterol is slightly high. And there was, again, potentially, there may have been an event at some point in the past. We kind of figure we might have even figured out when. Back this past winter, we had like one decent snowstorm. And, he and I and his kid were out there shoveling and stuff. And at one point, he just kind of stopped. He's like, I don't feel good. I don't feel right. Got, chest pains. And we were all joking around about it, though. Like, okay, no heart attacks right now. He. Looking back, though, you're like, you know what? You may have actually had a heart attack that day. And we were joking around about it. Yeah, good wife I am. Of course, he takes it as like this sense of accomplishment, like, oh, I had a heart attack and I powered right through. Haha, I'm the man. I'm like, okay, no, let's not look at it like that, please. They want him on statins. He doesn't want to go on them, and it's his choice. And he already has a really good diet. I mean, out of the two of us, he eats a hell of a lot better than I do. He exercises way more regularly. He used to be a power lifter. The man's in shape. I know that doesn't mean squat. I know the healthiest people in the world can have heart problems. But he prefers to treat things naturally. And, that is... Do I want him to have problems? No. But I also know if he's on statins, he is going to be pissed off about it, which probably actually wouldn't help the situation. We had that. That was great. It was fun. Not. We dealt with that. He, and like I said, ended up being fine. But if you watched my recent wrap up when I mentioned I actually got some things done on the cross stitch, that's when it was. I had it with me in the hospital. All those times when you're just waiting. It ended up being a nice thing to kind of just keep my mind occupied. Another funny thing has nothing to do with the heart thing, except for the fact that we were tired. You know how King Charles and Camilla have been touring the country? Well, they came to our little town here in Redneck, Virginia. I guess the king wanted to go to the national park that's near us, and we live in the Shenandoah Valley, y'all. So he wanted to go to the park, and so they came to this little no mention town, but it's a big deal. So my ex took the boys down there because they had like this parade and block party thing. So I mean, and if you got there and positioned yourself right, you get a glimpse of the king, and they did. They got pictures. They didn't shake his hand or anything, but he was out there shaking hands and stuff. I know people whose kids got to shake his hand. But what does that have to do with hubby's heart issues? Well, you know, we retired and sleeping in our own bed that first night home was like just glorious. And I actually slept, which is a rarity these days. 5 o'clock in the morning, my phone rings. It's my son, my college boy, who's home now. I'm like, oh my gosh, I wonder what, but everything is right. So of course you answer the phone. It's your kid calling at 5 o'clock in the morning. He's like, oh, we're on Main Street. I'm like, okay. He goes, yeah, we're here to see the king. I said, I knew you were doing that. Are you okay? Is everything okay? He goes, oh, no, I was just calling to say hi. I'm like, okay. He goes, oh, did I wake you? Like, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. I mean, I was for once in my life sleeping. Yes. Oh, sorry. Oh my gosh, kid. Oh, come on, you. But yeah, it's been a week. My husband's like, from now on, when something happens like that, I will wake you up. I'm like, yes, please. I can't say I'm better. I've been dealing with this shoulder issue of mine for months. He's been telling me, go get it checked out, go get it checked out. I've been very resistant to it because I think I have this fear that they're going to tell me I need surgery. I've had shoulder surgery. Probably have mentioned that. I don't want to have shoulder surgery again because that sucked. But at the same time, my shoulder is not getting better. Before it was just like, okay, you turned your arm a certain way or something and it hurt. Now it's almost like this constant dull ache, and I am just not having it. I mean, thankfully this time it's not my good arm, it's my right arm. I'm left-handed. The first time I had shoulder surgery, it was on my left arm. Talk about crappy. But I know I can't ignore it. It's not going to go away until I get something done. So I did find out my work has a physical therapist on site, and it's free. When you're a full-time employee, you just go to the physical therapist, make them an appointment and go. So I did. I mean, my doctor did give me a referral or a prescription or whatever it is considered with doctors for physical therapy. But the fact that this is right there at work, and I mean, they're making us go in more often, I might as well take advantage of it, right? I have an appointment this coming Wednesday, so we'll start with that and see what happens. Oops, that didn't go down. Good job, me. Okay, come on. I can't tell if that's got just a curvy butt and doesn't want to stick. There, must have been that. How's your week been? I hope not as exciting as mine. Have you all gotten any fun and exciting crafting done? Any projects finished? I obviously have not finished much beyond, like, I get my snack size canvases done every month, which I guess is an accomplishment. I shouldn't belittle that. But nothing big getting done yet. I'm working on Stitches to Sparkle, my Glistening Wings canvas, as you all know. Making some progress there, which is, oh, I'm so sorry, which is so exciting. I'm loving working on it. Of course, it is, now that I've been working on, oh no, y'all, how could you let me do that? Oh, hey, what else? How could this be a whip and chat with me if I don't do something stupid? Like have a spasm and just have drills all over the place. I guess it could have been worse. They didn't end up all over the floor this time. Yeah, I'm working on that cross stitch conversion and it's coming along and all that. But you know, you get the itch. You get the itch and you want to like start looking at other things and like, ooh, this looks pretty. Ooh, I want to do that one. And gotta resist the urge. Gotta resist the urge. That is going to be a future conversation. In other news, work's been work, except for, let me tell you, it had some weird, interesting things happen this week. I'm in the middle of this training class. All right. And when I needed coverage the other day, my supervisor has never been very good at communication. So I had to go to another supervisor to make sure that this was being looked into. And that they were trying to take care of it because I don't want to stick my co-trainer. Okay, so there's that. And that might have nothing to do with what I'm going to talk about, but I don't know. So the day I came back and I had a meeting with my supervisor, and the meeting seemingly was fine, you know, nothing was off. An hour and a half later, we get a message from our manager that she's no longer with the company, my supervisor. Like, she was fired, I guess. I was always under the impression it took an act of God to get fired from the company I work for, but so I don't know what happened. None of us knows what happened. It was just, and that was my thing. Like my co-trainer, she's like, you just had a meeting with her. I just spoke to her. Everything was fine. I'm like, exactly. I know. Everything was fine. So I don't know what happened. And of course, they're not going to tell us. So, you know, you just get the normal rumor mill going around. She really has been a thorn in my side. I mean, not just the normal, no, gee whiz, my supervisor is a pain in the ass. She's been difficult. That being said, I don't want someone to lose their livelihood. She has kids. I feel bad. And like I said, I don't know what happened, but does that help with my stress? A little bit, yeah, because now I don't have to deal with her. So what am I working on this week? Well, you see one of them. I am working on this Aurora Borealis with the intent of finishing this row. I'm going to have 3 more sections this size-ish. It goes quick, as you can tell. It's a round, so rounds do tend to go quicker. And it's pretty. I love how it's turning out, and my son gets excited to see me working on it. So depending on how much time this takes, I might pull out my stitches to sparkle because I still have page 2 to finish of that. I do have the hope that I can get some more done on the cross stitch. I mean, working on her the other day kind of inspired me a little, so I'd like to continue on with my work with her. She's almost a year overdue now. And next year I've got 2 more kids graduating from high school, so that is like a completely broken drill. So I have a couple more pieces that I want to get done by the end of by this time next year. Good luck me. So yeah, I need to stop stalling, y'all. So this week, I mean, obviously you're watching our regular Attempting Progress whip and chat. On Saturday, I'll have another video go up, subject to be determined. And we'll go from there. So in the comments below, let me know, what have you been working on this week? Is there anything I need to be enabled by? Let me know. But that being said, we're going to wrap it up. Let me turn off my light pad so you can see how we're coming along here. Got some beautiful blue to purpley and pinks color shifts going on. Over here, we're going to have the tealy greens. All right, tell me what you worked on this week. I want to know. And I will be back next week, attempting progress again. See you.